Mhm. Are we ready? Okay, let's go. Uh, so from my head,
Hello, everybody. 31? We lost a lot of people.
probably because we are bad teachers.
Mhm.
Um, hmm, let's go.
Let's go.
Uh, Welcome to ACI 6 class 10. It's kind of a special day for us and maybe for a lot of you because it's one of the most important courses in ACI, one of the most important foundational courses. And for us, it's a big deal to finish teaching it because it's huge karma. No, we will plant today the final seed to get the completion karma of this course, and same for translators and same for you if you study with us. So
I think one thing I would say here, if you remember earlier in the Diamond Cutter Sutra, they said, well, if you teach even 4 lines of this, it's worth more than all the money you can imagine. And Choni Lama goes on and says, well, okay, that's an exaggeration. Uh, and I think the point is that yeah, I mean it's extraordinary, right? Because there's potential with this, and that's what bothers me about. Oh, okay, I guess we're up to 42, so maybe people are just.
yeah,
I don't know why I have the karma to see people be late.
don't miss classes because Bill, he is really picky how many people came.
Well, no, it's important that it's this is the only thing that has potential, right? I mean, everything else is like this is the way you're gonna get the results you want. And I don't think that there's any other way to do it. In fact, I'm quite sure that there isn't. And so, in that sense, this is the most valuable thing on the planet, far and away, right? And just it's going to take more than reciting 4 lines of the Diamond Cutter Sutra to have the direct perception of emptiness.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Stop. 100%.
and so I think that's the point that Choni Lama is getting at is that, yeah, this knowledge has the potential to produce, like way more than an unimaginable amount of financial wealth, right? But you still got a lot of work to do.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So the subject of the class, how empty things still function, right?
yeah, I'm actually super excited about this particular class
Mm-hmm.
because we get to talk a bit about emptiness and what different schools think, which frankly I think is uh, it's the single most interesting topic on the planet, right? Like, what do the different schools of emptiness think are there?
And not because we are interested in theory,
Mm-mm.
but because this has all practical application. I was studying those schools for 10 years until I caught myself on some very much mind-only stuff going on in my mind. I was thinking I'm Madhyamika Prasangika, mind-only. And today you will have a flavor with, you will explore your limits of exploring your limits for the idea of projection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't care about philosophy for philosophy's sake. If that were the case, I'd be at a university cranking out endless papers on things that nobody's ever going to read.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not interested in that at all. We're interested in how to be happy, right?
Yeah, and also if you think like you wake up in the morning, And what do you do with your day? Basically, the only thing that you do is you try to get things.
Well, try to be happy. Try to be happy, right?
Try to be happy and avoid unpleasant things.
Yeah.
This is why you run to the bathroom first
Sure.
thing in the morning, right?
Yeah.
You try to get rid of something. Then, okay, I'm hungry.
Yes, statue.
Oh, I want to do this. I want to get this. And it's funny because I was getting ready to one of the classes and bumped into quite famous book, Black Swan, by Nassim Taleb, I think. And I mean, the conclusions that he does are not correct from the point of view of this teaching, but I think people like this book because of the question that he brings. He says that we do not make right conclusions. We have a bunch of we have different parts, pieces of information, and because we do not have a good explanation, we make an explanation, anything, just to stop our mind from being worried that we don't really know how they are connected, and we explain instead of why with how. Like, why I'm thinking, when I was like probably 25 or something, I knew a family who died in an accident quite close to me, and there was a truck. The driver was drunk, and he just, he created the accident. And only a boy, a little boy, was alive after the accident, and three, both parents and his younger sister died. And he was asking why, and they were saying, the driver was drunk, and it was nighttime, and maybe your car was also a little bit speeding. He was like, yeah, but why? Because adults, they were answering how, or like, I got COVID. Why? Because you met another sick person in the pharmacy, right?
Yeah.
But why I was in the pharmacy? Why the person was sick?
It's not really why, it's how. Well, how did you get it? Well, you got it from another person. Why did you get it? Because somewhere you didn't protect life in the past, and so now you're sick.
Yeah, and lots of suffering that we have in this realm, on this planet, comes from the fact that things do not bring expected results. And we try them again and again, again and again. I will work harder, will get more money. No, why don't I get more money? I work harder. Or like, I will, where should I look for partners? Like in the bars, like I looked up all the bars in Chicago. My partner is not there, but this is where I would go to get one, right? Or I don't know, in the dating app nowadays, right? So these are not the reasons. So the subject of this class, after all this beautiful sunlight on the path to freedom, Chuni Lama commentary discussion, is it is about why things change. Because even the object is empty, it still works.
Well, it's not, even though the object is empty, it still works. It works because it's empty. If it wasn't empty, it couldn't work. It can change, it can function, it can work because it's empty.
Yeah. So
Oh, did we just break the screen?
no.
I'm gonna go get the books. I forgot to get the books again.
I have the book now.
I got books. I got other books.
Bill has totally exactly same book, just in different cover. He wants to get his book. Probably he has he marked some pages. Okay, so why things change and why some things in our world cause other things? Yeah, please allow transcription, Claudia asks. So it's actually incorrect even to say that despite the fact things are empty, they work, but because they're empty. Let's take medicine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I had recently, right? I had bad allergy.
Mm-hmm.
And when I take a pill, usually people think that there is an active ingredient in the medicine, and this is why it works. I mean, I was a medical director in pharmaceutical companies. I worked in clinical trials for 15 years and 5 more years in clinics as a pediatrician and an assistant professor, and like 10 more probably or something. Like I was studying all this stuff. And people, they say that there is something in a drug that makes it active. But then my allergy comes, and sometimes the same pill works for the same allergy. And sometimes I'm like, did I really take the pill? Because I still have my itchy eyes, right? Or headache. Same medicine works for some people, does not work for other people. It's maybe you think that I'm telling you basic stuff, but this is what we think is working. This is how we think.
It's hilarious when people advertise a product. You know what the problem with that product is by what they tell you that it does well. So, for example, with aspirin, what does aspirin say? Strong, fast acting, effective relief, meaning, if it works, it's going to take half an hour, and we're not sure it's going to work. It's hilarious, right? Because it's not in the pill. In fact, one of the interesting things, and we've talked about this before, is that 30% of the effectiveness of any drug is coming from the placebo effect, right?
And to register the drug, you need to be just over placebo, maybe 1%.
Yeah.
And they will register a drug.
So a sugar pill is going to give you 30% the effectiveness of
About 34.
34. Okay, I would have said 33, but I will go with your expert opinion on that. 34. A sugar pill, about 1/3 as effective as the medicine that they're trying, and you have to be more than 1/3 effective in order to sell it out in public. It's pretty driven. Like, why, right? Like, there's something significant going on there.
Okay, that's not the only issue, right? I mean, many people, they want to get to their financial freedom. I just had a class 1 hour ago on financial freedom, but a good one, where we know where the money really comes from. Yeah. But if you will read newspapers on investment strategies, and probably nowadays it's not newspapers anymore, it's like Telegram channels, you know, or some other channels, YouTube videos. What they will be telling, if you will follow the same exact channel, you will see right away that the approach is controversial, that they will say, okay, here, this guy, he succeeded because he took a risk. How brave of him, right? he decided to risk, and this is why he made his millions. And the next video will be, oh, these guys took conservative approach. They didn't risk, they were not stupid to follow the market, and this is why everybody lost and these guys won. Then there is third kind of people, trickier, you know, like they will say, oh, you have risk and when to be conservative, you know, which is same stuff, just a little bit, you know, in a better envelope.
When I first encountered this idea, you know, more than 20 years ago, I was still getting newspapers, and I would get the Wall Street Journal, which is a business newspaper in the United States, one of the more famous newspapers. And it was hilarious. If you started looking for it, like almost every day, you could find them contradicting themselves. Well, this person's successful because of this, and this person failed for the exact same reason. You know, it was hilarious. And somehow
people still buy it.
Yeah. And, you know, and again, it's people, I think it's because they don't know what else to reach out for. They don't know what else to do.
I tell you what, I had a clinical trial I was running on behalf of a big pharmaceutical company. And I mean, I was running oncology trials, which like if you have a heart in the right place, it's just heartbreaking, especially pediatric trials. I mean, when you know the patients, how old are they, what they went through, because it's all in the, I mean, it's anonymized, but still you get the stories, right? Because it's in the electronic database. And I mean, I even could see their genotype was very similar, you know, and these guys, they are getting worse. They have to leave the trial because they're in terminal cancer. And these guys get into remission. And honestly, there is nobody in the world who can explain it. I mean, same country, same genotype, you know, very difficult to understand. So what we are talking about, that we have no idea why things work and why we have changes, but we think we do.
Well, I would say that we have some idea.
Yeah, we do.
I would say that the Buddhists have an idea. I would say that Geshe Michael knows why. But I would say most of the world doesn't.
Yeah.
People have, sometimes they'll have an instinct that they should do things the right way.
Yeah, and here I can see Claudia is writing, what about surgery? I had problems with double vision, but the surgeon fixed it a month ago. Am I just imagining this? No, we are coming to the question.
Are you imagining it? No. Are you projecting it? Yes. Yeah. So it's not that medicine never works. It's that it works if you've loaded it. It's like you have a stapler, right? Do you have a stapler? So you have a stapler, right? And does it work? Well, if you've put the staples in it, and then what are the staples? Well, you know, if you're trying
help other people to be healed.
Yeah, like you've helped other people. You've helped protect life in the case of medicine. So you've put your karma is ripening as an effective medicine if you've helped people, or as a surgeon who can help you. You're not imagining that. We're not saying that things don't exist, which is kind of like the cliff that you're asking us if you should fall off of. It's not that things can't function. It's that it's not.
There is no self-existent curing.
Yeah, it's not in the thing itself without it having come from your karma in the first place. That so then if you help somebody, there will be staplers in here. If you don't help somebody, there won't be staplers in here. If you help somebody, the aspirin will work. If you don't help somebody, the aspirin won't work. In the case of a surgeon, if you hurt somebody, that surgeon might operate on you and you could lose your eye. It happens. If you've taken care of people, that surgeon would work on you and your eye would get better. That happens. Why does it happen? Why do some people go to the doctor, go to the surgeon and lose their eye?
I knew people who had surgery and the surgeon left scissors inside of them.
Can you imagine? Yeah, well, don't be forgetful. You don't want that one. So pick up your room so nobody leaves scissors inside of you.
Yeah, and the most important thing is when you talk about projection, this is we will talk about some schools that think that projection is fake, right? I mean, it's something that you just make up intentionally. No, projection is forced upon you.
Scissors inside of you?
Yeah. Oh. I have seen the
X-ray.
The X-ray.
Doctor, I got a pain in my belly. It's just your imagination.
One more scissors. What a big deal.
Oh boy, embarrassing.
Yeah. So if you are healed, this is because you're forced to be healed by your karma. Your projection is what is helping you to be healed, right? And the other thing is there is nothing else except your projections.
Okay, and so then the next question, which is a good one, is if it's not in the pill, should you take the pill? Well, your karma is ripening as a pill. So yeah, you should take it, absolutely, 100%. When Ina works with people having health issues, she never tells them, don't go to your conventional doctor. She says,
some of them, they don't go, and I really scold them.
It's your doctor will work if you have helped other people with their illness. Your doctor won't work if you haven't. And so is it possible that you could eat a cookie instead of take a pill and get cured? Well, if you had the karma, right?
Potentially, yeah.
But potentially. Now, is it ripening that way today? Not in my world. In my world, I have a headache and I open up the bottle of acetaminophen. I don't take a cookie because that's the way my karma's ripening at the moment. Is it possible that it could have been different? Yeah, it's possible that it could have been different. At the moment, it isn't. So at the moment, I'm still taking pills. Yeah, don't skip it. It's
yeah, you have to help others and go to doctor. You have to help others and take a pill. Why? Because if you believe that this pill or this doctor is helpful with your issues, it's also a part of your projection, right? It means that 90% they can help you because you are creating them and you think it is helpful, not because they are helpful by themselves.
We can probably get rid of the little of the text. The answer key on this one's a little hard to read.
Yeah. Could you please stop the picture? I think we will talk a little bit about it.
Yeah. It's also I was gonna say something else on the subject. Well, I forgot.
That's okay.
I got distracted by the picture.
Changing. So why do we see things changing? Is it because they are moving, changing, shifting, No. Like it was hard for me to understand. Like in my perception, I am deliberately moving my hand, right?
Mhm.
Or when I'm walking, in my perception, I'm physically like stepping with one foot, another foot, like I'm moving. There is nothing as a movement independent on my projection. There's no movement that is independent. When things are changing, when I am moving or something is moving or changing, it is just my projections that are fluctuating. I can have how to say, consistent flow of seeds, right? That are like very similar one to each other, like stable flow of seeds, or they can be very different, right? So, and in my life there can be ups and downs, or like and I can have some subtle movements, or nothing is moving. It's only because of shift in projections, and it applies to everything. I mean, my seeds are constantly ripening and things are changing.
I remember what I was going to say back on the subject of medicine.
Mm.
Is it possible that you don't have to take a pill to be healthy? Well, yeah. Like if you are a Buddha, you don't have to go to the doctor, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's not getting sick. And there, you could even imagine long before that, even beings trapped in samsara that are going, eons without getting sick and never having to go to the doctor because they've taken care of other beings. Now, if they're in samsara, that's eventually going to wear out. But like a Buddha, they don't have to take a pill. They never hurt in the first place. Why? Well, because they've accomplished all the needs of themselves and others, right? Like they're not going to get sick. The reason we get sick and need to take a pill in the first place is because our helping other people has been weak, right? The fact that you're even in this situation is because it's 50-50 weak.
Yeah, and also there is something to our worldview, right? I mean, I still kind of believe in self-existing help, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I do something that this is really, I have done it, I mean, physically, then I have to take a physical pill to get healed, something like that.
Well, I believe in functioning help, right? It does, if you take, I mean, penicillin is kind of outdated now, but if you take an antibiotic, can it help you? Yeah, it can function. It functions for you if you've helped somebody in the past. I think we've covered that now.
Yeah. Then I'm even hesitating to ask for the next slide because honestly,
skip it. It's horrible.
No, I think we will show them, but okay. Could you please show the second question? And I'm not sure what we will do about it because we had to listen to all Geshe Michael classes on the subject because it's honestly. It was a little bit confusing. So,
which kind of brings up, well, it's a whole different discussion we can have sometime later about why would an Arya write a confusing answer to a question on emptiness?
Maybe he wants us to go deeper.
Yeah, maybe, right? Like there could be, you could,
Yeah.
the creative types out there can come up with the reason.
Okay, I think we can read at the very least the question, and then probably we will not even read the answer because, believe me, you will get confused. So explain why the higher part of Madhyamika school does not accept the unqualified belief of the lower part of Madhyamika in wrong and right deceptive objects. Okay, thank you. Now you can, I love the picture.
Yeah. No, he did it. He made it. Congratulations, the Einstein dog.
By the way, the picture is 100% corresponds to the topic. Thank you for a person who did it because it's exactly what answers the question. Okay, so now we can take away the slide and we will talk about why Geshe Michael is talking about how higher and lower part of Madhyamika. So basically, lower part believes in self-existing parts. We can probably say it this way, because lower part says, like, there are parts that are qualified to be a basis for a scene, right? And there are parts that are not qualified, that are wrong, you know, like, for example, this is an example of parts, and I can project, like, if I project a pen on it, then this is reasonable, right? If I project a pen onto these parts, it's not reasonable for our Madhyamika, right? So they say, okay, there are right parts and wrong parts, like reasonable will be accurate deceptive reality, like you see water in a lake, right? Or you can see water of mirage and it will be inaccept reality. Why? Because they say nobody has drowned in water of mirage and many people in the lake, right? So why is it important?
Well,
it's not true.
Yeah.
This is why.
I mean, the higher school is going to say that both are equally deceptive. That water to an Arya is fooling you about its characteristics as much as the mirage is fooling you about its characteristics. Both of them equally look like, according to the highest school, look like they have characteristics from their own side. And both of them equally do not. Both of them equally only have characteristics that are coming from you. And
you can get drawn in a mirage if you have seeds for it, strange enough.
Or you could walk on water if you had seeds for it.
And this is how miracles happen.
And it's because and again, we're talking about middle way independent school as the lower middle way school, and middle way consequent school as the higher school. And this is why I got the books. This is exciting. I'm really looking forward to sharing this with you guys.
Go ahead, Mala.
Yeah, I'm going to. Fun stuff. Okay.
I have my books also.
Okay, yeah. Well, this is like show and tell in grade school. Like, bring something from home you're excited about. Did you do that in the Soviet Union? Have show and tell, bring something from home that you wanted to get up and tell a story about?
No.
In American schools, that's what you would do when you were like 8 years old. You would bring something from home and get up in class and tell the other kids about it. So anyway, so in here, this is super fun. This is Nick's book that he did with Geshe Michael. Nothing is the way it seems. And it's on the 60 verses of Nagarjuna. And it's about the middle way consequence school and what they believe. And in it, and part of what's exciting is that they give a list, and this is Nagarjuna, a list of 10 proposed differences between the consequence and independent groups within the middle way school. So it's a list of exactly 10 things that the consequent school disagrees with the independent school about, which is really, it's exciting to see it, frankly, in the actual text, right? Nagarjuna. So now you're talking about the 3rd century, around 200 AD. And so, I mean, it's 1800 years old, and here it is And he was the one, Nagarjuna was the original founder of the Middle Way School. And so what it gets down to, I thought about trying to go through the 10 today, and we're not going to do it. It deserves, maybe I'll do a G-Box class on it. Would be a lot of fun to discuss. But basically, the difference is that the independent school thinks that there are statements that you can make that have their own independent, consistent logic, and that anybody who ever hears these statements will be convinced that things are empty, that there's something in that statement that will always convince people. And
something in the process.
And the middle way consequence school will deny that. They'll say, no, there's nothing like that. They say the only way that you can lead somebody to a correct understanding of emptiness is if you point out the absurdity of their conclusions. You have to lead them to understand that they're mistaken. You can't just give them something. You have to show them that they're mistaken. And so what you end up with is Geshe Michael will call the middle way independent school, the lower school. He calls it the 50-50 school. It's half your mind and half the object outside of there. Like the independent school thinks there's something outside of you that has some.
But it exists only if you perceive it.
Right. So it's coming half your mind and half from its own side. So they're saying that there's something that's coming from its own side, which the consequent school is going to deny that. They're going to say, are there outer objects? Yes, there are outer objects. No problem. They function. This is Bill. This is moja žena, my wife. They're parts. I label the parts. Ina, she functions. What happens if you go looking for the parts? Can't find it. Can't find the parts.
The final one.
Yeah, you'll never get down to the final one. And it's pretty easy to see that you're putting a label onto a collection of parts, right? And that's how that exists. But that there's nothing, like zero, that is self-existent. There's nothing that's not coming from me. Everything I see in my beautiful wife is coming from me. Which is interesting because here, now I'm going to give you a little clue. This is another, we talked yesterday about Easter eggs in the book. If you know to look, there's all kinds of really cool things. So here, the dedication in the book on the Middle Way Consequence School is Geshe Michael writes, and I can say this because it's a public teaching, right? So here he writes in the dedication, for the ones, capital O, for the ones who hold the keys to the door to freedom, Aaron and Veronica. And
Nick's wife and Geshe Michael's wife.
Aaron's Nick's wife and Veronica's Geshe Michael's wife. And Veronica doesn't teach emptiness. How is it possible that she holds the door to freedom? So anyway, I'll
think yourself.
Yeah, we'll just leave that out there as an Easter egg. It's one of those computer games with a puzzle that you're going to have to solve yourself. But it's fun. It's super fun. Okay, so then, do you want to talk about the sun and planets and things now?
Yeah. Let me see, what is the third question? maybe it is about the sun.
And do you see what we're saying? Right and wrong deceptive objects. The lower way is going to, the independent school is going to say, the mirage is deceptive, doesn't exist the way you think it does, but the water does exist the way you think it does. Consequent school is going to say, nah, neither one of them exists the way you think it does. They're both deceptive.
Yeah, okay, let's talk about the sun. So how about then we talk about changes, right? But how about things that everybody perceives equally? I mean, okay, the pill didn't work on me, or I put my money in a bank and when I did it, the bank, I don't know, collapsed, or the economy did not work well. Something happened, I lost my money. But what about something that everybody perceives equally, like the sun? The sun is doing same thing since I remember, and everybody else is perceiving the same. What is it? Also my karma shifting that I see it? Like, are you crazy?
And you know what? I would say he went one direction with this conversation in class, but I would say not everybody sees the sun the same way, right? Like if you're colorblind and you got up, you wouldn't see the sunset the same way I see it. And frankly, we're here today in Chicago. It's a beautiful day. And everybody's going to go to the beach, and almost everybody we're going to see is going to enjoy the sun. But you know that somewhere on this planet, somebody else is going to die today from sun exposure, right? The same sun that everybody's so excited to get out and play at the lake because it's a sunny day here. It's going to kill somebody today, right?
The fact that you have a stable flow of seeds does not mean it will be always this way.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that other people perceive the same thing does not mean it does not depend on your seeds.
Well, and I mean, is something as big as the sun still coming from my seeds?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What happens if you are running out of the sun seeds, right? Somebody is put in the prison and does not see any sun.
Boy, yeah, I was in Puerto Rico on a trip, and it was a very strategic location. And so the Spanish people built a huge fort there. And you didn't go, Will and I went. My son and I went into the fort. Ina's been to San Juan with me a number of times, but we never went to the fort. They had huge stone fort, like an immense amount of work, big, huge stone blocks made it. And in one part, I'd never seen a real dungeon before. And they had a dungeon where they put prisoners. And it was literally just like this hallway, like in this, must have been 15-meter long, maybe 20-meter long hallway of stone, just stone, like this. And at the end, there was one tiny little window, like way high up, like maybe 3 meters up, one tiny little window. Other than that, just pitch black. And I was like, oh my God, they would just put people in there and let them die. And I was like, wow, that's a real dungeon. Like you get tossed in there, yeah, that sun ain't functioning for you anymore, right? Not in a happy way.
Then when everybody will be out of seeds, what will happen? The sun will collapse, right? Or like something will happen. And in the Abhidharma, they talk about the whole realms where there is no sun, no stars, and you are just hanging in the outer space without seeds for the sun.
But
So why do you see sun?
Well,
Giving somebody something warm, right? Being warm to other people.
yeah, I would say that it would have come from something similar, right? Because almost all life, I think all life on the planet depends on the sun ultimately, right? And I would say that you had protected life somewhere, somehow.
Yeah. How about collective karma?
Yeah.
That's a very good question because in a way it exists. I mean, we can think that many people have the same seeds, but ultimately it goes down to your personal karma. So if you will be out of this karma, then you will see other people having same issues you have. This.
I think it's hard to imagine, right? That our seeds, that our mental seeds are that powerful, right? Like you see a tree, and I've lived in this neighborhood here in Chicago for 26 years, and I've seen the trees get bigger over 26 years. Slowly, right? You don't hardly notice it from one year to the next. But is that progression, that consistent progression, is that coming from my seeds also? Yes, that progression is coming from your seeds. And I think when you start to think about that, you start to get an appreciation for why Lord Buddha said that a human life is so rare, right? That, you guys know the example of somebody asked him, how likely is it to be born as a human? And he picks up a little bit of sand off the beach and he says, well, you see these grains of sand, how much is that compared to all the beaches in the world? And he goes, well, he said, the chances of you getting a human birth are about as likely as you being in this grain of sand. And then you hear that and you're like, oh, okay, well, he's exaggerating. And then he says, no, I'm not exaggerating. And when you think about the karma it would take, the cause and effect that have to line up in a coherent way in order for you to have a coherent experience of the world, in order to see a tree that over the course of 26 years has consistently grown, and to see the sun come up consistently. And, it takes a tremendous amount of seeds, right, for there to be this coherent pattern. And that coherency is exactly what's making you human. It's not you're human so you can see things coherent. It's because you're seeing things coherent, you're human. And what happens, and Geshe Michael described this in the Quiet Retreat teachings really brilliantly. He said, when you go to hell, he says, it's not really that, there's a red guy there with, horns and a pitchfork and he's poking you. I mean, you can imagine that could happen, but he says what it really is that you just lose the coherency. You just get stuck. You don't have the things that you need in order for your mind to be coherent. So.
Yeah, so our schools, they pretty much accept the projection thing, except the meaning of projection in different schools is different, right? Either it's in the name only projection, I mean, I make stuff up, or like I am creating my reality, right? There is a difference. And they have different obstacles to understand that everything is empty. Like, for example, Laura Madhyamika, they have obstacles to understand that the, how to say, the rules, right, or the laws are also empty. And if they are empty, if like cause and effect is also a projection, it does not mean it's fake. It works because it is a projection. It is possible for something to be a projection and to follow the rules.
Do you want to talk about why karma is consistent now?
No, but go ahead.
Okay.
I just did not catch what you wanted.
So yeah, then the question comes up. Well, if karma is empty, why is it always that if I do something good to somebody else, I get something good back? If karma is empty, could it be the other way, right? Like, could it be that I do something good for myself and then I see myself get something good for myself and I can just sit here and be selfish? Might be
fun.
Might be easier, right? Stay at home, a do-it-yourself enlightenment kit. Just stay at home and just take care of yourself and get enlightened.
You want to wait for the last question?
We can wait. We can wait.
Okay, so if you are interested to hear the answer, wait a little bit. Can we see this third question? Meanwhile, it's also a little bit confusing, but let's go. Let's get through it. So the third one.
Before we get started, while we're waiting for the slides, on the books that please do get them. Please do read them. It's your first priority.
Are you talking to Spanish speakers, to Ukrainian speakers, or to Russian speakers?
Talking to people.
They may not have those books in their languages.
Yeah, if you have them in your language, get them, read them. Your ACI courses are your first priority. Do those first. They will unlock the door to be able to read the books. Go to the Mixed Nuts classes. There's a karma to just even attempting to try to understand it. And then, even then, there's a reason why somebody as smart as Geshe Michael says it took 4 years reading the book in the monastery for him to understand it. So, I mean, they're super good. To get them. They're really fun and exciting. It's not a summer novel to read on the beach in an afternoon.
Okay, so question number 3. Explain why the lowest part of Madhyamika school, meaning independence, believe that results have some nature of their own, come from some causes which are something other than the results, and which also have some nature of their own, right? So basically for the same reason, right? It's they believe that results have some nature of its own, and they come from causes that have some nature on its own, and therefore there is a definitive relationship between them two.
It's actually pretty simple, right? Очень просто. Очень легко. The independent school is the 50-50 school. People in this school can't imagine that there's nothing outside of them that let me put this another way. They're still grasping onto the idea that there's something outside of them that has their own characteristics. 50% my mind, 50% the mind of the person perceiving it, 50% the object itself outside. and so this is where they're coming from. And then the mind only, and not the mind only school.
Independent.
Well, that's the independent school, right? The independent school is the 50-50 school. The consequent school is saying, nope, everything exists only as a projection by your mind onto a reasonable basis. And if you go looking for that reasonable basis, you'll never find it. And
the causation is empty itself. It's also a projection. The change is empty itself. It is a projection.
And I think the middle way independent school is probably about where the modern quantum physicists are, where they're talking about looking at matter and when an observer looks at matter, it changes it. And so it's like, they're aware that there is an observer effect on the external world.
Okay, can we stop the slides, please?
The answers to these questions in the answer key were difficult to understand, frankly.
Yeah. So the reason why we have these different schools is people failing to understand completely how the reality functions. They still have tendency to grasp to different stuff, either to the connection between things, right? Then it's independence, or they do not understand the emptiness of karma itself, then will be mind only, right? And do not get the emptiness of interactions.
And this is really, these four schools are really at the heart of Buddhism, at the heart of what you're working on the path of preparation to understand this intellectually, so you can have the direct perception of emptiness. And I think, and Adam said this in one of the mixed nuts classes, and Geshe Michael says it in this class, that it really, if you're going to master Buddhism intellectually, you need to be able to argue or debate from the position of any one of the four schools, really kind of five. Argue the position. And because everybody has they're at one of the other levels. And if you're going to bring people up, you're going to do it step by step. And then this reminds me of the story, and I know we told this earlier, but we can go ahead and repeat it again. Jason Kappa had a friend who, you know what story? Jason Kappa had a friend who was able to talk to Manjushri, the Buddha. And so Jason Kappa would go ask his friend, hey, well, ask Manjushri this, right? I want to know. And so Jason Kappa asked his friends, well, ask Manjushri whether I'm more middle way independent school or middle-way consequent school. And then so his friend goes and asks Manjushri, and comes back, he says, well, you're neither. So it's pretty subtle, right?
Yeah,
but you can make a lot of progress, and I'm not saying don't do this. It's just it takes a fair amount of work.
Okay, can we see the next slide? So it is a little bit less confusing, I guess.
If you were really middle way consequent school, if you were firm in your convictions that everything was coming from your mental projections, you'd never have a mental affliction, right? You'd never get angry. You'd never get jealous.
Yeah. Okay, so then we get to the middle, to the mind-only school. Why it believes that there must be a basis consciousness, or kunshi, right? a foundational consciousness,
Okay.
where certain seeds created by karma are stored and then later give their results.
So are you ready for a message from our sponsor?
Let's go.
That's what they would say when you were getting an ad on television in the United States. Okay, so if you're interested in the Mind Only School, this is Word's translation he did with Geshe Michael and the Golden Key. And it's really, really helpful and fun to read through that. So that's, if you want middle way, it's Nagarjuna and Nick. If you want Golden Key, it's Jason Kappa and Fearless Blade and Wordsmith and Geshe Michael.
Yeah,
anyway.
Basically their problem is they cannot understand that the idea of accept the idea that causation itself, like cause and result law, the law of karma, and karma itself is a projection, right? That's
Okay, well, why? So the Mind Only School has
the storehouse consciousness.
Yeah, and that's what he was calling it earlier, the storehouse consciousness. And that's a meaning translation, not a direct translation. And so later Geshe Michael starts translating it as foundation consciousness. And so this is the Mind Only School's explanation for where all of your mental seeds are stored. They're just stored in a foundation consciousness. And so and when you're experiencing the world, what you're experiencing is you're looking at your foundation consciousness. You're looking at your own mind, and things are ripening. The mental seeds are ripening, and then you're aware of that ripening. And so that's the foundation consciousness. And they
kind of need a place for seeds.
Yeah, well, they just couldn't imagine, like, where were the seeds being stored? Like, okay, so I've got these mental seeds. Where are they? Are they just floating out in space? Do I have to, like, how am I getting access to these things? How were they ripening? And so, I mean, frankly, I like the Mind Only School a lot. It was really interesting to read through the book and see. But you're just looking at your own mind, right? In the Mind Only School. And like everything that you're experiencing here is it's just a mental seed that you're looking at, like a dream.
And every time I think, like, you need, like, what, crunches, like you cannot fly really with these schools, right?
Crutches.
Crutches. Like, for handicaps. You cannot fly because you still feel that you need some kind of self-existence somewhere.
Yeah, okay, so then it gets to be tricky, right? Because
what if everything is a projection, right?
Well, okay, well, so that's kind of tricky too, but it gives you an idea of the potential that in the Mind Only School, that if what you're looking at is your mental seeds and nothing other than your mental seeds, well, you can see the potential that, okay, I changed my mental seeds, from this planet Earth to a Buddha paradise, right? And then I could be looking at a Buddha paradise because I would it's like make a different movie, right?
Yeah, unless you are falling out of the cliff, right? The last question for the course is the most important one. Right?
But I've got one more point to make. So okay, foundation consciousness. And this is interesting. It's called foundation consciousness because, and we can get rid of the slide now. And it's called foundation consciousness because it's the foundation of all your suffering. Like you're creating samsara by having your consciousness is focused on these things.
Okay.
But then the question becomes, okay, well, Mr. Middle Way Consequence School, if you're telling me I'm mind only, right? And then Middle Way Consequence School is telling me that foundation consciousness doesn't exist. I'm like, well, then
Maybe as a projection.
well, then where? Well, no, they're not even saying foundation consciousness exists as a projection. They're saying no, that's you're talking about. They're saying, but where do your mental seeds exist?
Mm-hmm.
Like, where are you storing them if they're not in a foundation consciousness?
In you.
Yeah, like in your idea of self, like you're, and so you're not entirely wrong when you say, in fact, you may be entirely right when you're saying, well, I'm projecting a self,
Mm-hmm.
and that self is where my mental seeds are being stored.
Mm-hmm.
It's in an ignorant idea of what I am, what my consciousness is.
Mm-hmm.
It's really that's a well, that's an easy idea.
Easy.
Very easy. uh it You can see, like, you get a sense for why it's the highest school, because it's much easier to think in terms of, I've got a shed in my backyard called the foundation consciousness, and that's where I store all my seeds. And when I want to look at something, I'm going to go to the shed and take something out and look at it, right? Like it's like a physical place,
Mm-hmm.
a storehouse, or a foundation consciousness. It's much harder to think in terms of a wrong idea of the self. But anyway.
Okay. Can we have the last slide? So there was Master Washan, a monk who was saying that morality is unnecessary because things are empty. And this is totally mistaken.
I wonder, he doesn't mention it. I wonder if this is the same
That's-
Huashang that Master Kamala Shila debated. It's the same Huashang.
Same
Yeah.
Washan. So,
Well, because Huashang means monk, right? In Chinese.
uh-huh. Yeah. All objects in the world are like empty screens. What we see on them is totally a projection caused by imprints in our own minds placed there when we did something either good or bad in the past. Therefore, not despite things are empty, they work, but because things are empty, we must be good and moral in our lives, because we will be forced by our karma to see the world as good or bad, maybe tantric paradise for some of us in the future.
This is where we started the class, right? It's not that things function despite being empty. That's not the case. It's not that things function despite the fact that they're empty. It's that things function because they're empty. Things function because they're empty. Because you're projecting an image onto a blank screen. Because that screen is blank, it's important what you're projecting.
Yeah.
And why are you projecting what you're projecting?
Because of the past sins.
Based on what you did to other people in the past. It's why there is such a thing as morality in the first place. It's why every coherent world religion has told you, don't kill, don't steal, don't take other people's partners away from them, don't lie. They all say the same thing because somebody has understood this process. Somebody has understood that because things are empty, because you're going to get back what you've done, right? There is a morality that you want to treat other people the way you want to be treated. it's why it's just like this whole Buddhist story. It's all one super brilliant explanation why you want to be kind to other people and what the potential is if you are kind. I think that's, it's one thing to say be kind, right? You tell a 5-year-old that. But that the potential of your kindness, if you get really good at it, if you become
master,
the Beethoven of kindness, the Shakespeare of kindness, well, then you end up with a Buddha paradise, right? It's cool. And if you only want to be 50% happy, you can be 50% kind. So,
okay. This is a good place to stop. Thank you, translators.
do we want to do questions?
You,
I like questions.
technical team. We will do class 11.
You don't want to do questions now?
No, I don't want to do questions now because I had already a couple classes
Okay.
today.
Well, and again, I'll go back. For the ones who hold the keys to the door to freedom, Aaron and Veronica and Ina. I'm gonna listen.
So we want to keep our translators alive.
Yeah, all right.
So thank you, everybody. We do not do the final prayers because we have stuff to do together, to continue doing stuff together to study.
And a lot of stuff, right? Please do your homeworks. How often do I tell you that I won't take anybody into the advanced courses if they haven't done all 18 ACI courses?
Every time.
It won't be doing you any favors to take you in if you haven't completed the coursework. And so please complete the coursework. The courses just, they're so beautiful. And you want to get them. I mean, you're close, right? You're a third of the way through this. We will be teaching, and you've got to see it. It's super exciting. So
if you are grateful to us, please subscribe to ACI. We don't need your money. Please give it to ACI. And if you have more than $30 a month to donate, then donate to Geshe Michael Schwanz Tower classes, to the Good Night Book Club.
Yeah, but
and you can get these beautiful books. Like this is one of my favorite ones also. So
I mean, they're all so
will be the best thing you can do for yourself.
Yeah, the books are super cool.
And we will see you for the class 11 in a couple weeks probably, where you can ask questions. And then we will teach ACI 7 in November.
Yeah, and ask anything. We're not afraid of questions.
Yeah, you can ask any personal questions, anything that is even not related to this, because there is nothing that is not related to this. We plan to do a 1-month retreat in January, so we will try to finish our job with ACI 7 in December.
We'll okay, we can talk about the dates, but yeah, we're gonna do. Anyway, we can talk about that, the exact timing. Yeah, we're gonna do a retreat this winter.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, and see you again.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here. Super fun. Very exciting. Very fun to talk about this.
Please do your homeworks.
Yeah.
Thank you, translators, technical team. Thank you, Artyom, for organizing.
How many people stayed to the end? I gotta see. I need numbers. I'm a number person. Okay, 53.